Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 6th of December for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the overview of the big influences of this week, but please stay with me because then I'll dive deep and in forensic detail give you each of the 12 zodiac sign forecasts. So this week begins with the Sun and Mercury still in the expansive sign of Sagittarius, and the energy of last week's total solar eclipse in Sagittarius is still reverberating around our situations in a very potent way. This gives us the desire to break out, be free, be independent, be a bit more physically active, or research things, download extra knowledge. Very exciting stuff. But the Sun and Neptune are going to be squared by the dreamy and sometimes deceptive energies of Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So that's house 12, and the Sun and Mercury are in house 9. You know that old saying of fact being stranger than fiction? I think that's one that we can bear in mind this week, because things that we might ordinarily shrug off can seem that much more aggravating and get under our skin, or someone could make a drama out of something that really doesn't deserve that level of energy. But there are some really super influences this week too, not least the fact that Mars is forging a stunning link with Venus and Pluto, and that's really going to come up to the boil on Saturday when Venus becomes exact in its conjunction with Pluto. It's going to be repeated on Christmas Day. The reason for that is that Venus goes into a retrograde on the 19th of December. So something to do with a financial or business matter that's going in a progressive direction could really gain traction this week very helpfully. Maybe it's a fated relationship that's also gaining extra energy and dynamism. This could even have a sexual component to it if there is someone that you're strongly drawn to who's very charismatic and has quite an intense aura about them. After all, Mars and Pluto are the rulers jointly of the sign of Scorpio, so we should expect a degree of intensity from that. But also Jupiter is in a right angle with Mars too this week. I think this can actually be a lot better. It's just suggesting that perhaps we're not over optimistic with our resources. Mars in the 8th house is about the longer term financial situation. Jupiter's in the friendly sign of Aquarius. So we might decide to go out and have a jolly good time with a group of people, if it's allowed, wherever you are, and it could turn out to be fun, but also perhaps a little excessive on the enjoyment side of things. But as the week draws to a close, there is a quarter moon in Pisces, very close to Neptune, and that sense that things are kind of really hypersensitive is really going to be emphasised. So if we can, we need to fact check things in a big way this week. Even our own stories can start going off at tangents. We can feed them with our imaginations in quite a destructive way if we let them. But also this could be a great week for tuning into our dreams, our night dreams, and really gaining some solace from meditation or anything that's peaceful or to do with healing. And we could find ourselves becoming really wrapped by one strand of that. So an exciting week, a week when we still want to change things up, be a bit freer spirited, but we just need to be aware of the more subconscious or psychological influences of Neptune, which can distort our reality. Now, please stay with me for your in-depth forecast, but if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. This means every time I launch a video, you'll get an alert. Also, if you'd like to get your free written daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, you can do by signing up on the subscription link beneath this video, totally free. And also with year 2022 literally just around the celestial corner, if you've yet to get your forecast for next year based on your time, date and place of birth, please see my special offer below. You can get the rest of this year free, what's left, and also you can get a character analysis and 30% off. And this is going to see you embrace more serious astrology, rise above your zodiac sign forecast, and give you real gripping insights into what the next year holds. Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 6th of December. What's dominated year 2020 for us Aquarius people has been that the two rulers of our sign, Saturn traditional, Uranus higher octave modern, have been at odds with one another. And we're entering into a period where they're creeping back towards the exact square. That will happen on Christmas Eve. Now, it depends how close Saturn is to any key planets you have in your natal chart. So often Venus and Mercury are quite close to the Sun. You could have your ascendant in Aquarius that Saturn is on. And that's where this particular influence can be felt that much more keenly. But I think Uranus in the 4th house for Aquarius people can cause some restlessness around where you live, the need for space, or the need to be close can oscillate. Or it could be that maybe you're speaking your truth much more around a home, family or emotional matter, and have been for about 2 or 3 years now. And not everybody may have been particularly keen to listen to what you have to say, but you know with Pluto and previously Saturn and Jupiter moving through your 12th house, maybe some things did need to surface that haven't been working for you for some time. So with Saturn and Uranus at right angles, that can create a little bit of tension just between the limitation you're feeling about your options as an individual and where you need to connect to others, but also what they're expecting of you. And that can be a little bit changeable, which can leave all of us Aquarians feeling a little on edge. However, it is true that this week the Sun and Mercury do continue to be in the sector of sociability. And of course, we're still surfing the awesome energy of the total solar eclipse from last week, which means for the next 6 months, some new people, new associations can be coming into your situation. But that doesn't mean to say that everyone you can encounter is going to have the same core values, the same honesty or probity that you might have. And Neptune in the 2nd house has caused, since 2012, quite a lot of confusion at times around finance, and also the base of your existence has shifted and seemed to be at times uncertain. And because Neptune is squaring up with the Sun and Mercury this week, your longer term plans need to be balanced against their viability in just sheer down to earth cash. And so in other words, don't be too idealistic. There's nothing wrong with money. It's the way people use money that is the thing that goes wrong. But if you're being aspirational about a situation, it's just important to stay, realistic. And most Aquarius people are actually very good at balancing realism with idealism. It's one of the central themes and strands of Aquarius people's nature. And that's going to be important to do this week. But on Saturday, Venus comes into an exact conjunction with Pluto. And of course, Mars continues high in the sky in a very confident and assertive position. And it's square to Jupiter in your sign this week just suggests that maybe you can give your skills or your way of being just a little bit more of a pump up, raise the volume, share with people your talents. They're going to give you some extra confidence. And, sometimes I think that can be a really good thing. It's not always good to be diffident and so polite in this ruthless competitive world we live in. So, if you need to put that best foot forward, do. But Mars is linked with Venus and with Pluto is very, very powerful but very subtle. It may mean that a mixture of your power but also your ability to work quietly behind the scenes in a very diplomatic way can actually be very important in terms of business contacts, and also very helpful financially, because Venus does govern money as well as relating. Perhaps there's going to be a relationship from your past that comes back into your situation, or perhaps a relationship that's not working in the present is going to come under serious review, even though it's the time of the year when breakups are the last thing anyone wants. So it just depends on your situation. But I think Mars is the pivot influence here, especially in its angle to Jupiter. If you feel that you're not getting what you need in a relationship and you can't see it fitting into your long-term future, which the Sun and Mercury are asking you to think about, you may seriously think about ending something that's really bumping along the bottom. But there is a quarter moon at the end of the week. It's very close to Neptune, and your generosity and kindness are lovely qualities. And I think that quarter moon could trigger some kind of gift to a good cause, a donation, and see you embracing the more traditional values of Christmas rather than more material ones. But it perhaps does remind you not to mix business with pleasure.